Do you ever wonder sometimes why even world-renowned intuitives and psychics and mediums, they get things wrong? Why sometimes you don't see things coming? That's exactly what happened for me. I've always had a pretty good sense of intuition and actually made a living as a working intuitive at one point. So last month, when I had a car accident, I was very surprised. I was coming down the road at dusk, and it was a two-lane road, and I saw cars coming toward me. My low beams were on because I didn't want to blind anybody, and I saw the car coming toward me flick its lights, and I just thought, well, he doesn't realize my low beams are on. And then there was the impact. I hit a deer. I live in rural Virginia. That's not that uncommon, but still, it doesn't happen to me very often. What was really unusual about this was that I never even saw the deer. I never saw it. At the point of impact, I saw fur, and I realized after the fact that the deer had come up on the hood of the car, over the windshield, and off. It actually hit the nose of the car. I had a Prius at the time. It came in between the two lights. So it had to be probably standing in the road when I hit it. I can't tell you how unusual it is that I didn't see it. We're just used to deer here in rural Virginia. We watch for them, but I never saw this. After a few days, I was sitting in meditation, and as I sat there, the image of the accident came back, and I heard distinctly, just like that deer, you won't see what's coming. And just like you did in the accident, drive straight through it. Go forward in faith and trust. Now, I didn't exactly know what that meant. I thought it was kind of a weird message, to be honest. And that was the weekend before the 2024 presidential elections. That was before a week where there was just all kinds of things that came up for me very unexpectedly. The car actually that I was in that hit the deer I had had this car a long time. I loved it. I thought I had at least another 100,000 miles on this car, and it was totaled. Now, it's really important to note I was fine. I was shaken up, but I was fine. And it was a hard enough impact that my car was totaled. And still, I was fine. In retrospect, I realized a couple things. First of all, that car that had flicked its lights was more than likely trying to warn me about the deer. And I still didn't see it. And that's what saved my life, because I actually had a whole line of cars behind me. There were cars coming toward me on this two-lane road. If I had seen the deer, I know what I would have done. I've been driving for 50 years. I would have either put on my brakes, which I absolutely know would have caused a chain reaction accident behind me, or I would have veered to the left to avoid the deer, and I would have hit oncoming traffic. I certainly would have been killed, and goodness knows how many other people would have been killed. The fact that I didn't see it enabled me to go straight through it. And what I've realized since that accident is, as this energy in the world is changing, as so many things seem topsy-turvy and we can't see what's coming, our invitation from that divine wisdom inside us, all of us, is to go forward with faith and trust. Bring that wisdom that we have from our own hearts. It was instinct that saved me from really what could have been a terrible accident. And as I've been thinking about what's happened in the few weeks since that time, I realize that often when I see something in advance, either see it on the news, get information about something, whatever that is, I have time to worry, I have time to fret. But what I don't always do is settle myself, go inside, find that source of truth within me so that I know how to go forward. So sometimes it's actually worked out great that I didn't see something coming. I didn't have time to worry about it. And if I stay in the present moment, just like I did when I was driving that car, eyes in front, totally present, going forward in faith and trust. Trust in not only that divine wisdom was inside me, but trusting that there is some plan, something that's going on that I'm not privy to. But I can actually work with my part in that divine plan. And I know what that is for me, to stay as focused on love, compassion, collaboration as I can in every moment of the day. Do I always get to do that? I really don't. I still have my times of stress and upset. I was really upset about that car. I didn't want to have to go look for a new car and do all the insurance stuff and all of that kind of thing. And I was so grateful, immediately grateful that I was okay, that my husband was in the car with me, that he was okay, that nobody else was involved. I actually went and looked for the deer. And believe it or not, the deer wasn't there. And I understand it's very possible that it was stunned and can get up and could have gone away, could have gone back into the woods, which is what I hope happened. My point is, we don't know what's going to happen in anything. We don't know who we love that's going to get sick or who will be in accidents. Certainly don't know what's going to go on in the political arenas or healthcare or finance, but we can stay connected to that inner divine within us. The way that I do that is, of course, practicing my beloved principles, but there's meditation, there's lots of ways to do it. You follow what you're called to do and make sure that what you're following brings you peace. If it stirs up more fear, that's not what you want to follow. Fear, stress, overwhelm, anxiety, that is when you are following a path of the ego or personality, which we all do from time to time. But the peace, the joy, the clarity comes from following that inner divine wisdom. If you want to know how to do that, I've got tons of free resources for you. I'd love to have you in one of my programs. But I just want to leave you with this. You won't see what's coming. I won't, you won't, we won't as a community, as a global community. But we can go forward in faith and trust. I'm Dianehayworth, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.